Recently divorced, ex wants to try again, but on her terms. Advice? TLDR, separated since February, divorced since April. After having begged my ex to work on our marriage and not throw it all away before divorcing to no avail, she now wants to casually date me to see if she can rekindle her romantic feelings towards me. Part of me wants to go for it, part of me is too hurt and feels she's taking the wrong approach as the trust that was broken will need a giant effort on her part to rebuild, and she wants to pretend like nothing ever happened. My ex, 27 female, and I, 29 male, recently divorced. We separated in February, filed in March, divorce was finalized in April. We were together for almost 8 years, married 5.5 years. We have an almost 4 years old. For simplicity, I'm just going to refer to her as my wife below if I'm talking about a time we were still married. My wife was the one to ask for the divorce, claiming she had fallen out of love with me and had been feeling this way for over 2 years, but was trying to make it work. I did not see the divorce coming at all. I thought our marriage was improving and I was seriously crazy about my wife. For me, divorce had never been an option, outside of cases of abuse or infidelity, much less a thought that ever crossed my mind. I thought my wife felt the same way. As hard as it is to hear your wife wants to leave, the biggest pain came from the timing. She broke the news the moment I came out of an 8-day quarantine. Our daughter had come down with COVID, so I stayed with her so my wife wouldn't get sick. During those 8 days, all I thought about was my wife, how much I loved her, how much I missed her, how much her happiness meant to me. As soon as I came out of quarantine, she hit me with the news. It was devastating. To add to the bad timing, the next day was her citizenship appointment. She obtained citizenship through our marriage. The timing plus the request for divorce left me broken and questioning our entire marriage. Had I simply been used? Did she only marry me so she could gain citizenship? Did she just use me to bring her family? We brought her brother and her mom from her country and they were living with us. Was she just waiting until she had everything she needed and then she could throw me away? My self-worth took a dive for the months to follow. I pleaded with her to reconsider. To try couples counseling, to try a separation rather than a divorce, to try anything, but her mind was made up and she did not want to be married to me anymore. Up until the day of the hearing I kept hope and I asked her if she was sure, or if she wanted to reconsider. The answer was always the same. The day of the hearing, something within me broke. I knew the relationship was over and I decided to move on. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. I noticed my ex was acting strange. She kept lingering when dropping off our daughter. She randomly brought me food. She called me just to talk to me, rather than to talk about our daughter. Until finally she sent me a message asking me out on a date. I called her and we talked about her feelings. She said she was confused. Felt like she might have made a mistakes. Said she missed having me around. Said she really wanted our daughter to have her family full-time. For reference, my ex has been having a really rough time with our daughter. She has her 3 days a week, but those 3 days are very difficult as our daughter often doesn't listen to her and constantly just asks about me. I do not have any issues with my daughter when she is with me, and she has asked for her mom maybe 4 times in over 4 months we've been living apart. But she did say she still did not feel romantically attached to me. She said she wanted to go on dates so we could maybe start over and rekindle a relationship. But she said she had a lot of doubts about her feelings. I told her I wasn't opposed to the idea, but that I needed some assurances. That she had to be 100% sure that it is what she wanted and that she was going to have to work very hard to try to rebuild the trust that she had broken. I told her to seek counseling, get her thoughts straight, and figure out what she wanted before we did anything. Yesterday she called and told me she has been seeing a therapist and that he has helped clarify her thoughts. She said the therapist recommended that we have casual sex to try to rebuild the romantic aspect of the relationship, but that she did not feel comfortable with that. Then she said at this time we should just move on. I didn't know what to say so we just ended the call. After some time I sent her a message thanking her for her honesty, but stating that I did not really understand what had changed since our conversation a few weeks ago. That based on that I felt it made the most sense that if she was feeling doubts, that she explore these doubts while the possibility still exists. But that I was done begging for love, for her to do what she felt was right for her, and that I hoped she finds what she is looking for. She then sent me a bunch of messages basically saying she wants to try something casual to see if her romantic feelings return. That she didn't bring it up again because she feels it's too different from what I need, her being 100% sure she wants to try again and working hard to rebuild the trust she broke, and that if it doesn't work the semblance of an amicable relationship we have will just be broken. She said if I want to start from zero and try something casual to see what happens, that she is open to that. I left her on read as I didn't know what to say. After a few hours she called me and I told her it would be best if we speak in person. Her dad and her other brother are visiting starting next week, so she said it likely won't be until they leave towards the end of the month. I don't know what to do. Part of me really wants to try. I mean, if she had mentioned this prior to the divorce being finalized, I don't think I would have had any objections. But now, I feel it's not fair to me. I feel like I am the one taking all the risk, and there is no accountability for her and the way she blew up our lives, and this is just a recipe for disaster, and if it doesn't work out I'm going to be shattered. But then again, I feel like if I'm going to have to start from zero with a stranger, why not try it with my ex? Don't I owe her at least that much? Don't I owe it to our daughter to put my pride aside and try again? But how do you casually date your ex-wife? Is it possible to start from zero when there's so much history and a child in between?